Hey, welcome to VBAtutorialcode.com. In this video lesson, I'll show you how to use if statements in VBA. I'll also show you how to use if and, if or, and if and else, all in VBA. So let me just walk through like a simple if statement right now. I recommend you watch my lessons in order if you're unsure of how to use VBA. So I'm just going to step through this line of code by pressing F8. And so if range A2, which is right here, if that equals A, it does equal A. So it's going to execute the next line of code, and it's going to put range d2.value. It's going to set d2 over here. It's going to set that equal to 1 right now. So now it's 1, and it's going to end if. So basically it just goes to the end of the end if statement. It skips what's in the else statement. Else statement, it goes to the else statement if range A2 didn't equal A. So basically the if statement starts out as if this, then execute this, otherwise execute this, and if. So if it is true, it executes this. If it's not true, then it executes this. So let me just, for example, let me just change this to like B instead. And let me just step through the line of code now. So being that A2 no longer equals A, it equals B. It's going to skip right to the else statement, and it's going to set range D2 equal to 0. So that's kind of how like a basic if statement works. But now let me just go through like a more advanced if statements over here. I'm just going to delete out this lines of code because I don't really need them anymore. I'm just going to go over here. So I'm going to dim like a variable has a double, and here's the variable. I'm going to set the variable equal to 2, so it equals 2 now. I'm going to declare this variable eRow. I'm going to set it equal to the last row in column A. So it counts how many rows there are. So eRow right now is empty, and now it's 5. 5 is the last row in column A. So I'm going to do a loop do until this variable 2 is greater than 5. And at the bottom of this loop, I add 2 to itself. So 2 equals 2 plus 1. So now this variable is going to equal 3 because it just adds 1 to itself, and it iterates as it goes through this loop. So let me just start going through this loop right now. F8. If range A and variable A, if A2 equals A, then it's going to return what's here. So D2 equals B2 plus C2. So D2 is going to equal 4. If range A and variable equals A and B and variable is greater than 1, so this equals A and B is obviously 2, so that's greater than 1, so it's going to execute that line of code. That's how an end statement works. Unlike this if statement up here, where only one condition needs to be true, this if statement, 2 conditions need to be true, and then it'll execute the line of code in between it. So A is A and B is greater than 1. So being that both of them are true, it executes the if statement. So you need 2 conditions to be true. That's why the and statement is useful. You can also just keep adding ands, and they all need to be true. 3 ands. So here's an or statement now. So if range A is A or B is greater than 1, so either of these need to be true. And then it'll execute the code. Both of them are true in this case, so it'll still execute the code. Only one of them needed to be true. So it sets range AF2 equal to no. So this one right here, if range A2 equals A, that's true, and B2 equals 2, that's true, and C2 is less than 2, that's not true. Or range C2 is 3, that's also not true. So it's just going to skip to the ends of here. For when you combine like and then an or statement, all the ands need to be true, or just singularly the or statement needs to be true, and then it will execute the if statement. So let me go to, right now it's just added 2 equals 2 plus 1, so now we're at 3. So we're at 3 out of 5 in this loop. So in this loop, it just basically let me just skip to the end because none of these are true anymore. Because this equals B, so that one didn't execute. Range, it doesn't equal A, so that's not true. It doesn't equal A, so that's not true because it's B. So now if range A equals A and B equals 2, B does not equal 2. So right away all these ands are not true. So those conditions won't be met. Or C equals 3. C does equal 3 though. So this one single OR condition is true. So it executes and it puts a no there. Either all of these AND statements need to be true, or the single OR statement needs to be true, and then it'll execute in between the if statement. So this one will just show, this one's different because right now we're on row 4. We're on this row right here. So if range A and 4, so if A4 equals A or B4 is greater than 1, so obviously A4 doesn't equal A, it just equals B. That's not true. But this OR statement, the other side of this OR is true. So, and B4 is greater than 1. This is greater than 1. So it's gonna put it's gonna execute that. It's gonna put F. It's gonna put no there. And I guess this one just shows this one again. That is true. And that is true. So yeah, that's basically how you use if and or statements in VBA. Thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll answer them.